came. Mothers whispered one dark name. Who's like thunder, bows like rain. Kingdoms broke beneath the plain. Smoke would rise where cities stood. Rivers choked with ash and blood. No prayer answered, no walls held. All were dragged through living hell. Hear them ride through flaming sand. Death itself at their command. March of the Black Legion. Iron storm across the land. March of the Black Legion. Skulls and fire in their hand. No tomorrow, no salvation, only ruin, fear and pain. March of the Black Legion. Nothing living stands again. From eastern dawn to western stone, they crushed the weak and claimed the throne. Empires bent and banners fell. Their shadows turned the earth to hell. The arrows screamed, the horses tore through broken gate and splintered door. Survivors spoke in trembling breath. The blackened riders crowned by death. From the dust their fury came, leaving silence, ash and shame. March of the Black Legion. Iron storm across the land. March of the Black Legion. Skulls and fire in their hand. No tomorrow, no salvation, only ruin, fear and pain. March of the Black Legion. Nothing living stands again. No gods remain when the horsemen fly. Only smoke that scours the sky. No kings endure, no armies stand. When terror rides from land to land, whisper below the conqueror's name. History still recalls the flame. What they built through war and dread walks forever with the dead. March of the Black Legion. Blackened sun above the slain. March of the Black Legion. Burning hoofbeats pound the plain. No redemption, no surrender, only iron, fire and blame. March of the Black Legion. All the world will fear the name. Ashes drift where cities shone. Thrones lie split and stripped to bone. Still the frightened voices tell how the black tide rose and fell. soul escaped the siege of hell. Priests still crawl through the fractured gate, muttering prayers to the hands of fate. Scavengers come with their ropes and knives to steal from tombs that still feel alive. Touch one stone and the night grows cold. Wake one ghost from the age of gold. Speak one name from the world undone, and hear the march of the fallen one. Troy is gone, but not erased. Still it breathes in this cursed place. Broken towers, blood-stained sand. Phantoms guard the ruined land. No feast, no crown, no victor's song. Only the grief that lingers long. Only the oath that was never freed. Only the earth and the mouths that bleed. Beneath the broken citadel, the dead remember all too well. Beneath the broken citadel, no soul escaped the siege of hell. So tread with fear where the old bones lie, where burned men dream and dead gods sigh. For time may fade the shield and spear, but the fallen city still lives here. The tower shook beneath the blows. The battering thunder rose and rose. A breach of fire, a flood of steel. The end had come, the doom was real. Storming the gates of Tyre, fire against the sea. Storming, storming the gates of Tyre, break their eternity. Storming, storming the gates of Tyre, no wall can hold the flame. Storming, storming the gates of Tyre, remember Alexander's name. City of merchants, city of pride, ringed by the sea on every side. Who can conquer the waves you cried? Who can tear down the king of the tide? He answered not with empty breath. He built a road through fire and death. He dragged the earth into the foam and turned the sea into a road to Rome. Storming the gates of Tyre, fire against the sea. Storming, storming the gates of Tyre, break their eternity. Storming, storming the gates of Tyre, no wall can hold the flame. Storming, storming the gates of Tyre, the world still fears the name. the empire turned to stone. Pride built the throne, but time moved on. No crown can hold the dying dawn. The last king of Babylon will face the end alone. The priest spoke low of signs in red, of rivers turning black with dread, of distant hooves and iron cries, and ghosts that moved in desert skies. Oh, yet in the halls the nobles sang, blind to the final funeral clang. They praised the walls, the ancient fame, and cursed the winds that brought his name. The last king of Babylon stands where the fallen stand alone. The last king of Babylon watches the empire turn to stone. Pride built the throne, but time moved on. No crown can hold the dying dawn. The last king of Babylon will face the end alone. Look now, the lion shakes with fear. The writing burns, the truth is near. All that was built in brick and gold cannot command the grave to hold. The river shifts, the dark breaks through. The old world dies before his view, and all the songs of gods and men will fade into the dust again. He took the crown with lifted head. Now ash falls cold across the land. The brazen gates, the towered sky must bow before their final night. The last king of Babylon cries to the gods but hears no call. The last king of Babylon sees the mighty screamed as kings rode by. Crowds all roared beneath the flame, praising one immortal name. But under silk and polished gold, poison hearts were bought and sold. Steel was drawn behind the cheers, power fed on blood and fear. Blood on the Imperial Sun. Glory fades when war's begun. Crowns will crack and banners run. Blood on the Imperial Sun. Blood on the Imperial Sun. Blood on the Imperial Sun. Brother turns against the sun. Empire falls, though trumpets run. Blood on the Imperial Sun. Blood on the Imperial Sun. Marble towers, scarlet halls, echoed now with traitors' calls. From the Senate to the blade, every oath was bent and frayed. Oh, legends once that ruled the earth now tore apart the land of birth. Victory songs became a cry as the Roman dream began to die. Blood on the Imperial Sun. Glory fades when war's begun. Crowns will crack and banners run. Blood on the Imperial Sun. Blood on the Imperial Sun. Blood on the Imperial Sun. Brother turns against the sun. Empire falls, though trumpets run. Blood on the Imperial Sun. Blood on the Imperial Sun. See the laurel dipped in red. See the road lined with the dead. All the gold cannot conceal what the civil wars reveal. empires fall and die alone. Shine. There stood a kingdom crowned by sea, a throne of gold and destiny. Its temples rose through silver cloud, its king spoke fierce, its priest spoke proud. The bells of triumph ruled the shore as waves bow low forevermore. They carved their names in marble flame and swore the stars would do the same. No hand of God, no rage of tide could break the walls of ancient pride. But deep below the restless blue, the dark began to stir and move. The sea winds changed, the sky turned red, a voice of warning filled the dread. Empire of dust and fire, kingdom of the damned desire, lifted high then cast below, lost where only shadows go. Empire of dust and fire, drowned beneath the funeral pyre. All your glory, all your flame, now the sea forgets your name. The seers cried out from blackened stone, your crown is ash, your age is gone. But kings who feast on endless power do not hear the final hour. The earth then shook beneath the gates, the ocean rose to answer fate. Great pillars cracked and statues fell as heaven rang the drowning bell. The harbor split, the mountains burned, the gold of ages black and turned. The streets ran wild with blood and foam as fire consumed the island throne. The mothers screamed, the war horns died, the eagle's standard sank with pride. And through the roar of storm and grave, the last king vanished in the wave. Empire of dust and storm of ghost white spires beneath the foam. And in the night when waters burn, the dead of Atlantis still return. They ruled the tide, they ruled the flame. They thought the world would bear their name, but time and sea and wrath combined and left their empire far behind. Empire of dust and fire, broken on the wheel of time. Once you ruled beneath the sun, now your race and reign are done. Empire of dust and fire, buried with your gods and liars. All your glory, all your flame, now the deep devours your name. So sing the sea of what befell, the city bright, the crown, the bell, for all that rises proud and higher may end in dust and fire. The crowns are broken, cast in dust. The gold turns black, as all gold must. The marble cracks, the towers lean. Where kings once ruled, now none have been. Their banners rot in poison rain. Their oaths are rash, their wars are vain. 1,000 names once carved in flame, now drift as smoke without a name. Hear the old world groan skies and fed the fire with conquered lives. They thought the stars would bear their seal. They thought their empire's bones were steel. But time came.